Slice Up Series is me, OurEyeSee, and I'm here again to, explain how OurEyeSee, you know, in a way that you can see. So today we gonna bring y'all a video from Video Advice, um, tapping again into that third eye situation from a man of history that we all should learn to study some things from Nikola Tesla, who was out here trying to do great things that they had to quiet, because of the things that he was doing. Mainly speaking of trying to provide basically a free way of living to all humanity and a cleaner way of living. Yet they couldn't allow that to be. But yeah, I don't know what they about to talk about. I ain't watched this video yet, but we gonna see what they talking about.
When Nikola Tesla was in his late 80s, very old man, he was given a big awards dinner in New York where the world was thanking him for all the incredible things that he had given to the world. And he said, Nikola Tesla spoke to the audience, and he said, I have to tell you how I got my ideas to do what I've done. He said, every evening before bed, your brain as a human has nothing to do with your creativity, with your ideas and your understanding of things. The brain is designed to do only one thing and one thing only. It is to control the mechanisms of your body. It controls the electrical impulses that go to your muscles so that you can walk, so you can run, so you can climb. It controls your body's muscles. It controls the movement of the human body. It controls the blinking of the eye, the swallowing of water. It controls everything in your body. It's nothing more than a controlling mechanism for your human body. But when it comes to your imagination, your creativity, the ideas and concepts that come out of you, we have, as scientists, no idea in the world where your spiritual perceptions come from, where your thoughts come from. We have no idea at all. All that we know is it has nothing to do with your brain. Your brain does not give you inspiration. It merely takes care of your body. And so, therefore, where do your thoughts come from? When the great composers were composing the
I was trying to pause it, but yeah, I was on the wrong screen. But yeah, because I was literally just about to say that. Because I was just thinking about this and then thinking the other day. I'm like, yo, what makes thoughts? Like, it's like, I don't create my own thoughts. I can kind of guide and control what thoughts, I continue to think about. Like, I can think about the thoughts that pop up. Like, I can let them live a little longer, or I can kill off some, but I don't create the thoughts. Like, where do thoughts come from? I think I might have talked about it in one of the videos earlier, because it was a whole thing about thinking in general, and it led to me thinking about questions and like one making the other, and it's like it became like a God and Satan thing, because it's like God is answers, so it's like it's Satan questions, because yeah, it got deep, but it all stemmed from the fact that it's like I know I don't create my own thoughts, but I can control them if I choose to, consciously or unconsciously. They can run wild, and then it just makes me think about what is the subconscious. So yeah, but
beautiful music. Where do those ideas for the music come from? When you get people who are writing profoundly important books, and we say they were truly inspired, Well, we know it wasn't in their mind. It came from outside of their brain. So it implies that our inspiration is we are being overshadowed, is the term that I use. Overshadowed by some kind of a higher intelligence in the universe. Something out there is feeding us information, and it's called inspiration. We are being inspired. And some people are just naturally pick up on inspiration from out there, wherever it comes from, and they can create beautiful music, beautiful art. They can design rockets. They can design lasers, televisions, all kinds of strange and wonderful imaginations in the human mind, but it does not come from your brain. It comes from out there. And so when you listen to the composers of music, you can tell they were inspired. They didn't just read it out of a book. If you understand what they were doing, they're not just picking sounds that sound nice. No, it was mathematical. It was very deep understanding of the creation of the universe, the breathing in and the breathing out of the universe. It had to do with an occult, heavy-duty science of vibrations, rhythms, and how and they could change the whole concept of a nation by music. I mean, the Germans used the music from Wagner, and it inspired, and America has music that inspires the nation because there is some kind of a mathematical science to it. There's a science to putting music together. And of course, in Hollywood, you have what is called programmed music. In a movie, when something evil is going to happen, you get a certain kind of music. When something is going to be funny and silly and to be laughed at, you get that kind of music behind it. So it's programming your mind with music so that you are inspired to get the idea out of the movie. So inspiration is not part of what the brain does. Inspiration comes from outside the brain. I believe that the human family, the human people on the earth, their brains are a computer, where it's an incredible computer. It's alive, and that computer runs on wiring. And we're told that our blood vessels and our nerves are miles and miles of nerve endings in our body. That's the wiring for the computer to all the body, to control the body. The brain needs to be able to send messages out to certain nerves for you to do certain things. And so the brain is a computer, and I believe that what we call God is some kind of for a lack of a better term, some sort of a Wi-Fi unit. You can have 100 different computers in a room, and they're all on one Wi-Fi unit, which means all 100 computers can be doing 100 different things, tuning into different places and doing different things, and they're all getting it from one source, from a Wi-Fi unit. And so something is guiding our destiny. Something out there is guiding our thinking. And if you've ever seen a flock of birds, large flocks of birds with thousands of birds, and you see them all flying in one direction, and then instantly, in an absolute 1 second instant, they all turn, all the birds turn and go a different way. And they all then flip back and turn and go a different way. How come all of the birds knew to turn at that very 1 second point, and they all turned and went a different way together, like the fish do? We call it schools of fish. And I've seen it where the fish are thousands of fish, and they're all sailing along together, and instantly, all of a sudden, they all go in a different direction. How is that possible? One incredible story about how the brain communicates with the heavens, and the heavens communicate with you. And we know that the planets and the sun and the moon affect your brain. And the planets all have a resonant frequency, and each one of those planets, when you were born, affected your mind. When you were born, you came out of your mother into the world, and the sun has a profound electrical field on the earth that is causing incredible stuff to happen. Our weather, the moon affects people. It affects the female. It affects her periods once a month is caused by the moon. The moon pulls the oceans of the world. We know that the moon affects the oceans. Why? Because they're water.
Where was the
And the
Nikola
moon
Tesla advice
affects
though?
water. And this is why your body is like 76% water. So how does the moon affect you at the full moon? Well, it causes you to get silly and crazy, sometimes really crazy. So we call you a lunatic. Why? Because the moon is affecting your blood, it's affecting your brain. The vibrations in your mind are being affected by the sun, the moon, Mars, Jupiter. And so women are from Venus and men are from Mars, meaning our minds operate differently because of the way we're born and who we are and the vibrations in the brain. It's a very big subject about inspiration. And the inspiration comes from out there. When Nikola Tesla was in his late 80s, very old man, he was given a big awards dinner in New York where the world was thanking him for all the incredible things that he had given to the world. And he said, Nikola Tesla spoke to the audience, and he said, I have to tell you how I got my ideas to do what I've done. He said, every evening before bed, I will put a notepad on the little table next to my bed with a pen or a pencil. And he said, and every morning when I wake up, there's a written invention on the pad. Somebody comes into my room at night and writes down an invention. And the next morning I get up and it's all written out for me. And so I just go to my laboratory and follow the instructions, and I invented radio, or I invented alternating current, or I made this invention or that invention. And today, Nikola Tesla has lit the world and given us radio and all kinds of wonderful things this man gave to the world. But he said he was inspired by someone writing it down when he was sleeping. And so that's inspiration. To inspire comes from the word spire, to like perspire, inspire. And so spire is to breathe together. Breathing is spire. And so someone was breathing into him their ideas and coming from somewhere else. So that was one point I wanted to make about inspiration, is it doesn't necessarily come from you. It comes from out there.
I felt that. That was deep. And just off of the strength. So you feeling this? Cause remember, crazy, right? Remember, this is no feelings. 3. But we still looking to inspire what the world with all this fire. Yet I'm rising to be king, my steady bowing to my sire. That's my G, my ONG. That's on God, he flew through me. Yeah, we do this purposely, cause it's the life that I'm just gonna run the beginning back again. Are you listening? to inspire what the world without aspire. Yet I'm rising to be king while steady bowing to my sire. That's my G, my ONG. That's on God, he flew through me. Yeah, we do this purposely, cause it's the life that nourished me. I ain't here to be no savior, I ain't here to do no favors. That was done prior by greater who sacrificed self for neighbors. Tell me where that got us now. Most people lost and can't be found. Still I be smiling while they frown, just knowing what's gonna come around. Staying clear from Hollywood, not hypnotized by Hollywood. Or I've been seeing how I should do ever since I've been doing good. Our role is just to do our part. You see the message through our art. I keep no hatred in my heart. I knew the end straight from the start. And if you don't, you probably blind, which is fine. It's all designed. Just pray you find the truth in time. Won't find your soul get left behind. I'm steady repping for the few, for the true. What it do? You know I had to shout out you for all the world done put you through. Yeah, we survive in any weather. We making diamonds out of pressure. That's right, we only getting better. We was built first to last forever. Now it's right back to the flow. I know you wanna hear some more, revealing secrets on the low. So comprehend what you should know. Even though all my lyrics go, it's all written to help you grow. Get your vibration off the flow. No more hello and say how. No special circle chat.
And when angels they guiding me on the angle that's it. It be trying to take you feeling blessed. I always say thank you. I'm always feeling so grateful. But since my senses I came from, not a part of the blameful. So ashamed of the shameful, accountable for my own. I'm touching down in my zone. Our copy cannot be cloned to ET to ever from home, knowing where I'm going. Our highest will put me on.
I'm coming back in a second right now, could say I'm gone.
I just had to play it because it all fit. Inspiration, I feel that for sure, all day long. Which is why I be like, you mean? I agree with everything that my man said. And I am divinely inspired. Like he said, it's coming out from outside of me. And I understand that point because initially I kind of, you want to argue with it. It's like, no, spirit is inside and the influence is inside, is outside. But at the same time, no, I get it in the sense of God is inside of me, but he does start outside of me because he existed before me. Therefore, he created me and allowed me to be me. He breathed breath into the first man, which gave that man life, which in turn gave every man life. But first it was God, which is outside of you, which is why you could never be the one true, real, omnipresent, omnipotent God, even though you can be God-like in the sense that you are a part of God and a great piece of God, and you are God-like in the sense that you can have divine powers that can come from God, but you'll never be the Almighty. You feel me? Like you can never be that because it's outside of you. It is that which encompasses all things. You don't encompass all things. I don't encompass all things. But I can be a part of all things. I am a piece to the whole puzzle. You feel me? So yeah, I get it. It does come from outside. Cause like in this day and time, you are thinking about the things that you need for this day and time. You aren't thinking about the things that you need for past. You may be thinking into the future, but you still have to work through the present to get to there. So it's always a present state of what is outside of you that is causing the specific thoughts that you have presently. As futuristic as somebody could be thinking, they still have to get through the present to get to that future. As much as somebody could be thinking of the past, you still are in your present reflecting on that which was. Like, because you're not living in the past, nor are you living in the future. You're only ever in the present. In the present, you are your present, but your circumstances exist outside of you. So therefore, the things you're going to think about come from outside of you. I mean, I just understood what he said. Hopefully you understood what he was saying. But yeah, that inspiration stuff is real. Because I also be thinking about the Bible and how a man could write something divine, being divinely inspired, and they wrote the Bible because it was inspired by God. But yet, I ponder on the fact that there is an Old Testament, there is a New Testament. Christ never written anything. So there was an Old Testament before Christ, there was a New Testament after Christ, but why is there no new parts to the Bible? Like, why is it there's been all these revisions, and you mean people want to add the 2 cents to basically write over what has been written, but nobody's putting anything new into it. Like, no, there's no New Testament. You see what I'm saying? There's no continuation of the New Testament. There's no works in today. And and I'm only saying that like legitimately, and I don't even know how to exactly phrase that, because it's like I write things all the time that are divinely inspired and make perfect sense for the times that we are living in today, understanding the things that were written before in the past, like the Old Testament and New Testament. And now I think about things that I lived through today to continue those understandings, those writings. Yet it's like, where do I go to get this input into the Bible so that other people can, you know, it can get proofread, it can get checked, you mean, so we can come to a concise, you mean, evaluation of what is true, what's not true, what's supposed to be, but there's no system, there's no movements for that, for real, for real. Not even the church is constructing additions to the Bible. There's all these laws that was written in society and stuff. They're constantly updating and changing and adding amendments and stuff like that, and continuing the laws of man. But who's trying to be divinely inspired to continue the laws of God? I'm telling you, I could go forever talking about stuff like that, but it wasn't meant to be so deep. I just wanted to see what Nikola Tesla was talking about. Had no idea that he was going to say that he left a piece of paper down and somebody came into his room and wrote for him. Didn't see that coming, but I understand the aspect of leaving a piece of paper and a pen, because I got one under my pillow. So therefore, when things arise from that other realm that you can bring from that other realm to this realm, and you're told to write it down, you should do that immediately before it leaves you. I do that all the time, but to just let the piece of paper down like some Santa Claus stuff, and then somebody come in the room and just write it, that's kudos for him. I mean, I wish it worked that easy. But I mean, to each his own. I mean, so for today, that's how I see. Hopefully you see, because yeah, we see RIC. So hopefully you see, and I'm gonna just let that be. 'Cause right now, RIC me out. Peace and love. Hopefully y'all have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.